Pfizer took Israel as the world's lab. So Israel was tested first. It was an experiment. The people of Israel were experimented on first, and then they got some bogus statistics and results, and then they gave that to the FDA. Pfizer gave that to the FDA. We were sold out, right?
Why?
The people of
How did that happen?
Why? Because no one cares about human lives. Because those politicians and those globalists are just like looking at you and me and everyone around here as pawns on a chess game.
But I mean, the politicians in Israel were the easiest to sell out the people, or like, why was
we have a prime minister? Have you heard about him? Benjamin Netanyahu. The guy's a psycho. So he would sell you and your grandma off to anyone that would give him what he wants, and what he wants is power and control and money. And he gets it every time. So he cracked the deal with Pfizer. This is on record. This is not me just saying that. He is boasting about it, saying how he picked up the phone and called Albert Bourla, the CEO of Pfizer, and told him, I want to be the first one. That's what he loves. He's a narcissist psychopath. So he's like, he loves being a first. So I want to be the first one. And Israel has a history of digitalized medical data. We can give you very quickly, a very short turnaround time, all the data you need about the vaccinations of the population. And we're monitoring everything. You'll get it very quickly based on what's happening here. You'll be able to then get your EAU, your emergency authorization from the FDA. And that's what they did.
So
Israel was the world's lab. And I was reporting about that. I was not the only one. There were a few other good Israelis that were doing the same thing as I was doing. And some of them were doing it in English as well. And that was very, very important.
So
Sure.
I just want to talk about how I found out about you, which was also another like really
October 7th.
Yeah, it was really brave. And like just hearing you talk right now about the Prime Minister of Israel, you're not afraid to talk truth to power, and you put out this kind of report on what you think happened on October 7th, right? And it's very much went against the grain of like the mainstream narrative.
Yeah.
And
Once again,
can you talk about that?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So similarly here, I spoke out because I saw what's happening on the ground, and I saw the alleged narrative that they're going to build around what's happening on the ground. And I decided to speak out. It wasn't even I'm not a war journalist. I'm not like an expert on military, but I served in the army 25 years ago. And I happened to serve exactly where this has happened, in the Gaza Strip border. So for 2 years, I was there, doing work that was related to the kind of stuff that was happening on October 7th. So once this all started happening on the day, it was a Saturday, I had no choice. I had to say something because I saw the atrocity happening in front of my eyes. And I was sitting at home with my son. 6 a.m., the missiles started coming. There was a missile attack at 6 a.m. That's how we woke up, with the sirens and the missiles. And then it started. And then people in Israel started tweeting that they are in their shelters near the Gaza Strip, in the villages around the Gaza Strip. It's called the Gaza Envelope. They were in their shelters and they were crying for help. They're like, where's the military? Where's the police? We are hearing terrorists running around our villages with firing and, Allahu Akbar, all that stuff. And where is the protection? No one's coming. And they started tweeting out stuff. And there was so much material coming out as early as 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. It started at around 5, 6.
Was this the same day the rave was later on?
Yeah, the rave was on that night.
It was that. So you're saying before the rave, this was happening? This is during. This
is during. This is the same time. So the rave was from the 6th of October to the 7th of October. It stopped when they started massacring early in the morning at like 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m.
On the 7th.
On the 7th.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I woke up on the 6th. I was at home in Tel Aviv, but that was happening in parallel at the same time, about 40 minutes away from my house. So so the Nova thing, the Nova is the name of the festival, started coming out. The people in the shelters, it started coming out. People were reporting about terrorists murdering people in the villages. People are locked in their basements, or their shelters, but they're breaking into the shelters, massacring. A lot of bad shit was coming down. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, but what's happening? Where's the military? Where's the police? How come so many terrorists are inside of Israel so quickly? And we got footages of the cars, the pickup trucks with a lot of terrorists coming in from Gaza into Israel. These are things that are not normal. You guys should understand like what's actually happening here. Israel is a highly secure country. And the Gaza Strip is protected by not just the fence, which is millions of dollars in electronics and weaponry systems fence, but also a lot of army bases around it, a lot of automated machinery around it, like drones, different types of weaponry machines that are triggered by sensors. The fence itself is triggered by sensors. It's highly technologically advanced. And there's an army. And there is a police.
But all these terrorists got through it all.
And there is like local security in the villages themselves as well. So where are all those levels of security that we normally have? And then you hear about 15 breaches of the fence. 15. On one of those breaches, you're supposed to have like a brigade of troopers, killing those terrorists or whatever. That was just not normal and not typical. And it didn't make sense. It didn't add up for me.